suddenly turned cold, like a different person halfway through. Just when I thought I understood, it hit me. If it's grass, then it's okay to eat it. Maybe it's even better than bee larvae. Perhaps it's a luxury ingredient. Is this a Christmas event? Maybe my mother-in-law actually likes me a bit after all. I enthusiastically replied with a yes. It seemed like my mother-in-law was puzzled by my excitement and even clicked her tongue, but maybe she's just the hot and cold type. And she probably feels embarrassed because I'm happy. We celebrated Christmas with no idea that there was a tremendous misunderstanding between myself and my mother-in-law. On the day we were supposed to go to the high-end sushi restaurant as a family, my mother-in-law said, "Your father and Ivan are technically invited, but I haven't made a reservation for you, so absolutely do not come. Don't tell anyone about this," she emphasized. It seems that my husband's shift is scheduled all night that day, so he's heading straight to the restaurant from work. My father-in-law and mother-in-law are going from their shopping destination to the steakhouse, and according to her plan, I'm supposed to do housework first and then meet them at the restaurant. Since everyone is meeting there, it shouldn't be a problem if I'm not there, as long as my mother-in-law comes up with some excuse. I guess that's the idea. While I'm a little envious of the fancy steak, there's grass on this side too. Maybe my mother-in-law also wants to have a meal with just the family once in a while. Thinking that way, I followed my mother-in-law's instructions and stayed home. At the time when everyone should be eating steak, suddenly my husband returned home.
"Nancy, why didn't you tell me you were being bullied? I was so surprised because you weren't there."
Huh? I stood there dumbfounded at my husband's pale face. Perhaps he thought I was alone at home crying. Even my husband was taken aback when he saw my carefree expression. Then my mother-in-law appeared from behind my husband. "Really, Nancy, you're so inconsiderate. We had such good steak. Why would you suddenly want to leave?" She appeared outraged. At that moment, I thought my mother-in-law's face was turning serious, but then it turned pale, and her mouth hung open. "Nancy, what are you eating?" What? It's just grass. You told me to eat grass, so I made a salad with the herbs from over there." "Those aren't for my potted plants." "Oh, I see. Since they were so well taken care of, they were indeed delicious. I'm delighted to think that you were raising them for me to eat. Thank you for the meal." As my enraged mother-in-law glared at me, I lowered my head, while my husband burst into laughter. Even my usually serious father-in-law was laughing. I wonder what I did wrong. Oh well, it's fine. "Oh wait, Nancy, what about that cactus over there? It's completely gone. What happened to it?" "Oh, it was delicious. It was such a fine specimen of a barrel cactus that I made soup, steak, and various other dishes with it." As I proudly showed off the lineup on the dining table, my mother-in-law stood there speechless. My husband seemed to be laughing so much that he was having trouble breathing, and my father-in-law was desperately trying to stifle his laughter. Did you know that cacti are good for preventing wrinkles and age spots? Mom, you always use skincare products that claim to prevent wrinkles and age spots, right? Is that also made from cactus juice? Oh, and it's supposed to reduce swelling too, right? Remember when I mentioned my swollen ankles the other day? You remembered, didn't you? I'm glad. Feeling as if I had been acknowledged by my mother-in-law, I happily expressed my gratitude for the benefits of the cactus and to my mother-in-law for providing it. However, my mother-in-law didn't even crack a smile. In fact, she seemed so lifeless, it was almost like she was fading away. I wonder why. My husband is laughing so hard, he looks like a red-boiled octopus. That cactus was a gift from my pottery class teacher. It was his first gift to me. How could you do this to me? Huh? Ivan and my father-in-law froze, wearing puzzled expressions at my mother-in-law's words. In that moment, she inadvertently covered her mouth.
"Wasn't your pottery class teacher a man? And a pretty young one at that,"
Ivan remarked.
Hasn't she been wearing a lot of flashy clothes lately?
My father-in-law also gave my mother-in-law a stern look. Well, let's see. But my mother-in-law's gaze seemed to wander aimlessly.
That's not it. It's not some scandalous affair. It's just that, well, being guided from behind by someone young and handsome makes your heart race, doesn't it?
For a moment, my mother-in-law looked completely girlish, causing both men to frown deeply in disapproval.
Huh? Mother, are you seriously falling for a guy my age? Are you guys close enough to exchange gifts?
My husband's words made my mother-in-law vigorously shake her head.
Were you making cookies the other day to give to him?
At my father-in-law's words, my mother-in-law visibly flinched. She forced a smile with very little conviction. It seemed she couldn't even make excuses anymore in the face of her suddenly exposed secret. My husband in a detached tone.
I really don't want to hear about my mom's love life. Ugh, it's gross.
He raised his voice. My mother-in-law blushed crimson, tears welling up in embarrassment as she glared at me.
Hey, if Nancy hadn't eaten the cactus, none of this would have happened. It's your fault. You no good wife.
She grabbed my collar while yelling. What did you say? But I did eat the cactus like you told me to. Don't blame me for this. I don't understand what I did wrong. This was actually the first time I had stood up to my mother-in-law's abuse. I glared at her with all the anger I had. But my husband and father-in-law were once again rolling with laughter.
Seriously, Nancy? She's just teasing you. She didn't mean for you to actually eat cactus.
Huh? My husband's observation left me dumbfounded, and my mother-in-law's expression turned to one of utter despair.
It's been a while since I've laughed like this. You're no match for Nancy. I'll forgive you for getting infatuated with a younger guy, but as I've said many times, stop the harassment against Nancy. You're just embarrassing yourself, being immature.
After being reprimanded by my father-in-law, my mother-in-law clenched her teeth, tightly gripped her fists, and shook her shoulders.
Hey, you know, I really don't like seeing Nancy getting bullied like this every day. I didn't do anything because Nancy says she didn't want to. To be honest, I even want you to leave, Mom. Can you please keep your distance from us both?
Finally, my husband made his frustration with my mother-in-law very clear. Instinctively, I said, "Please, don't worry, Mom. I really don't mind at all." I tried to follow up with that, but it seems that wasn't enough. It seemed like my mother-in-law wanted me to be hurt or sad even just a little bit. Realizing that I wasn't affected by my mother-in-law's bullying at all,
It's impossible to corner such an unreasonable daughter-in-law. How frustrating.
She burst into tears. I'm not quite sure what triggered it, but she seemed to have bought it. My mother-in-law said,
I don't care if you feel lonely without me.
With that, she stormed out of the house. Both my husband and father-in-law.
If she feels lonely, she'll come back. She won't come back.
My father-in-law spoke about my mother-in-law as if she were some stray cat or something, without even trying to chase after her. This is too much. Isn't it pitiful for her? Filled with anger, I went after my mother-in-law. But what hurt the most was that the two people I thought of as family didn't come after us.
I don't need you to accompany me.
With a grand gesture, she waved away my hand and left. It seems I unintentionally led my mother-in-law to her final destination, and thereafter she never returned home. And thus, without my realizing it, I achieved victory in my battle with my mother-in-law and brought it to a close. After that, while my husband, father-in-law, and I were living peacefully, we received a letter from my mother-in-law. Inside was a divorce paper with a bold comment.
This is the last chapter of my life as a woman. I will devote myself to the pottery teacher without regrets. It will be too late for you to regret losing me.
My husband and father-in-law burst into laughter at this, saying,
We hope she won't have any regrets in her last days.
But 3 months after the divorce, my mother-in-law suddenly came to our house and pleaded,
I've been dumped, so I want to remarry.
Getting turned down was expected, but this additional request was unexpected. My father-in-law laughed a lot and refused, saying,
I want to be free of you for the last time in my life.
After that, my mother-in-law never gave up and came to our house several times. But the results were always the same, and after about a year, she finally seemed to give up. Meanwhile, my husband and I had 2 children. The first child was a boy, but as a mother, there were many things about boys that I often didn't understand. He seemed to get into mischief from time to time, but my husband kept a close eye on him, so we managed to avoid any major incidents. Now, both my son and the daughter born afterward have grown up so well, even more responsible than me in some aspects. The whole family accompanies me on shopping trips, worrying about me. I once went out to buy milk, and for some reason came back with mackerel and bread. I forgot the milk and left. My dignity as a mother was nowhere to be found. My father-in-law also adores the children tremendously and even jokes.
Thanks for supporting Nancy's absent-mindedness.
Despite everything, we spend each day lively, bright, and joyously. Well, here I go again, giving my all to motherhood today.